couple years ago you met this crazy American guy who reached out to you and wanted to meet you, and just tell us how you got to meet Mr. Josh Cedar and the Cedar family.
I'll tell you before I start this, my great friend and Josh, and it's I strongly convinced about the God's timings in our lives, because I don't know, it was my third visit or my fourth visit to US as part of my responsibility to visit our sponsors and donors, and I was there. It was at Indianapolis, that I was there with one of my friends and the One Mission Society there, and I got suddenly a text from I would like to, are you there, we'd like to meet. I was so reluctant because how come, because I never met him before. Who is connecting me? Why they are connecting, because the first visit I was excited to meet everybody, but on the process later on, and they come and talk about the great stories. I listen to the great stories. Afterwards, there is no response. It would discourage my heart. Lord, I spent so much money and coming here, and so I was very selective on my third trip. So I was very reluctant. I was very cold. I said, how long would you take to reach here? He said, about this. That impressed me. This guy, to meet this guy from this east, with this color, wanted to meet, taking it 2.5 hours. Oh, it's impressive. I said, let me give this few minutes to him. And I could see the beautiful family and wife and the 2 daughters. And he was telling the story about the adoption. The moment he said, I am also with Youth for Christ, and called about the big Josh and something, the Youth for Christ and Youth for Christ, something happened in my heart and connected. Bang! I strongly believe that's God's doing. My emotion changed, my mood changed. I did not get that much, funds raised that moment. But I got a great friend. That's what I strongly believe. I said, God gifted me this great friend of mine. And next is the story, brother, what we are talking today.
Yeah, that's spot on. I remember that day well, Sham. I remember driving down there. Before we got in the car, my wife looks at me, she's like, what are we going down there for? Are you trying to get a job at Youth for Christ India? I said, no, I just want to meet this guy and hang out. She was a little bit nervous about that. And so we get down there, and yeah, like you said, like you were tired, and like I could tell, like you were tired and you were worn out. You didn't know who Josh Cedar was, and here I am, this guy from the backwoods of Maine, looks different than you, speaks a different language, his native tongue, just nothing in common at all.
Very rough accent.
Yeah, exactly. But then when we realized that we both worked for Youth for Christ, we were both brothers in Christ, and that was like we had nothing in common, but when that happened, we had everything in common right there. And so it came together. It was just a beautiful relationship that came out of that. And then we sat there and talked about your culture and your work and just everything. It was an amazing, wonderful time.
It's a divine connection. I strongly believe it's a divine connection. So you planned for something, I thought for something, but God brought His divine connection and He made, hey guys, this is what I intended to bring you together. That's what I strongly believe.
Yes, it absolutely is. I mean, if you read about, I mean, how far in the Bible to talk about people coming together from every tribe and tongue and people group and nation, and the fact that when we get together, we look nothing alike and we sound very different, but we have Jesus in common, so that makes us brothers, and that bond there is just, it's amazing.